What's up, everybody? My name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today is Wednesday, July 17th. In today's video, we're going to be covering Bitcoin Ordinals, also the NFTs of Bitcoin. Basically, what we're going to be doing is covering a few collections because we want to find out which collection is most likely going to hit a floor price of 1 Bitcoin. Yes, 1 Bitcoin, which currently is around $64,000 at the time of this recording. Now, I'm going to cover the details around each one of these collections and to share with you my personal thoughts. With that said, none of this is financial advice, so please do your own due diligence before investing in any of these ordinals. So without further ado, let's go ahead and smash up that like button and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our Patreon page, and please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I will never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email, so please be careful and invest safely. So guys and girls, let's get right into it. So why am I covering Bitcoin Ordinals? What could be the catalyst event for Ordinals to reach 1 Bitcoin possibly one day in terms of their floor price? Well, before we even start with the Ordinals, let's pay attention to what's been happening with NFTs across different blockchains. So let's go ahead and start with Ethereum. So I've noticed something happening with Ethereum is that the NFT floor prices have dropped significantly. Now, when we pay attention to the Ethereum marketplace, you've noticed quite significantly that many of these projects have gone down almost 90% from their all-time high price. So with the Ethereum market being down so bad, I haven't really seen a lot of momentum around narratives, around building. There really isn't something refreshing that has really caught my eye other than Pudgy Penguins. But Pudgy Penguins is pretty high in terms of their floor price because they're developing toys, gaming. They're getting kids in all ages from parents to pretty much buy their products in real life, and that pays tribute and benefits the holders of Pudgy Penguins. And that's why Pudgy Penguins went from around 3 ETH all the way up to around 20 ETH, it's still holding almost half its price. But other than that, the Ethereum marketplace is kind of dead to me. But also, it's not even just that, Solana. When I've been paying attention to the Solana marketplace, I haven't really seen much momentum here as well. We even had blue chips such as DeGods and Utes fall down in price. Solana Monkey Business, which used to be one of the OGs of the space, down significantly, even in US dollar conversions, roughly around 4.7 thousand US dollars. I used to see this above $18,000 at one point. So we're down significantly on Solana. But how does this differ from Bitcoin Ordinals? Has Bitcoin Ordinals fallen as well? Will they ever come back? Well, here's the thing. This is something I want to pay attention to. That's regarding Bitcoin's price. Now, everybody's paying attention to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now a commodity within the US, is traded within these ETFs within the US as well. So that Bitcoin is a commodity. I'm guessing that things that are built on top of Bitcoin, such as Ordinals and especially runes, could have maybe the same type of protections. So with that said, if Bitcoin tends to pump and those people who have a ton of Bitcoin want to take out some of their profit and start investing in speculative items such as Ordinals, well, maybe a lot of that money is going to flow into Ordinals because their native currency to buy Ordinals is with Bitcoin. So naturally, I think Ordinals is going to pump very soon. So I started to ask people, what type of Bitcoin would you recommend me buying? What's something that you would push for people to have exposure in? Well, here are some of your recommendations that I've read through these comments. I want to cover a few of them. Now, the first one I want to cover is Ink. Now, when Ink was around, it was roughly around a $4,000 price point in terms of its floor price when it first launched on day one. But it has dropped significantly down to around $400, give or take. But this could be a great deal. And what makes these specific Ordinals unique? Well, if we just click on one of them, there is this little stamp right here. It kind of gives you an explanation. These specific Ink Ordinals were inscribed on legacy sats, and legacy sats are that were given out in paper wallets during the Casey Rod Armour's Bitcoin workshop back in June 2022. This was 6 months prior before the first inscription. So that's what makes these specific Ordinals unique, and it's actually quite affordable. Now, can this reach a 1 Bitcoin floor price? Well, we don't actually know. I think because this is a 10K collection and because its inscription is way further on down the road, it's not even in close to the 10,000 or even 20,000 inscriptions. Right now, I think that maybe the highest that this can go is possibly, say, maybe 0.1, 0.2, maybe even 0.5 Bitcoin if we're in the next bull run, right? So who knows exactly when that can be? That's just a random number that I'm putting out. But I think more realistically, we want to see this hit around 0.05 to 0.1 Bitcoin. That's where I see this collection going. And the next step I want to talk about is Ordinal MaxiBiz. Now, what's great about this collection is if you find out and look into their details, all their badges, it's pretty cool because this is created by ZK Shark. Now, this is inscribed on block 9 Also was the first Bitcoin of the 9th block inscription. It was also listed on the first transaction, which was a SAT from the 10 Bitcoin sent from Satoshi Nakamoto's to Hal Finney in the first Bitcoin transaction. That was back in January 12th of 2009. And also it was the SAT mined by Satoshi Nakamoto. And last but not least, it was the first SAT mined within the first 1,000 blocks. But what makes this collection very unique is that it actually did go above a 1 Bitcoin floor price. I don't think I've seen any other collection do that. The reason that this collection went up to above 1 Bitcoin, exactly around 1.5 Bitcoin, is because people wanted to get whitelisted or get an opportunity to mint these orange eyes. Now these orange eyes are the latest addition to this collection, which is around a 5.2 thousand supply. There are other eyes as well. We also have green, blue, and red. These were the eye collections that happened before the orange eyes, if you haven't noticed. So that's why you're seeing that this collection has taken a slight retracement in terms of its floor price, around 13,000 US dollars. Can this hit 1 Bitcoin? I actually think that this can hit 1 Bitcoin and higher. Now, next up, what we're going to talk about is Bitcoin puppets. Now, this has roughly around a 10K supply. Roughly 1.1 thousand of these ordinals are listed on the floor. Now, this is around a 0.13 Bitcoin floor price. Now, how high has this collection gone as of yet? Well, if we look at the all-time price, we can see that right now the highest that ever went was almost close to 0.50 Bitcoin. Almost, but has taken a slight dip. Now, this could potentially be 1 Bitcoin. And now you must be wondering, why is that? These drawings are a bit silly and crazy. Well, I've noticed some predominant figures in this space within crypto Twitter actually use these photos as their profile picture. Plus, they came out of nowhere. I love that it's just a random drawing that people just slightly adopted, and it's very playful, very fun, and people just tend to represent this as their identity within crypto Twitter. So when you see the specific icon, it's recognizable. I think it's very important. Now, can this reach 1 Bitcoin? To believe it or not, I actually think it can. Just because its presence online is like none other. People are commenting left and right, and they are absolutely present within the ordinal space. So that is Bitcoin puppets for you. Next up I want to talk about is Pizza Ninjas. Now, what's great about Pizza Ninjas that really stands out to me is their listed amount, which is their total supply of 1.5 thousand, to the unique owners, which is 1.24. So the ratio between the unique owners to the total supply is actually amazing. Usually you see a ton of whales owning a ton of these different ordinals, and you'll see maybe half of the supply to the unique owners, if that makes any sense. But this is a great ratio. That means there's almost like 1 to 3 or maybe 1 to 4 NFTs per person, or maybe just 1 to 1 of these ordinals per person. And what I've also noticed is that during the downtrend of specific ordinal hype, when we saw the ordinal bull market happen, many of the ordinal collections retraced almost around 50% of the price. But with Pizza Ninjas, it has barely moved at all. In fact, it's only held a steady price of around 0.09 to even, actually, let me check out the chart right here. If we look at the all-time high price, the closest it ever got was close to around 0.2 Bitcoin. So right now it's a 50% discount, but it really hasn't even really pumped yet. Now, can this hit 1 Bitcoin? Yes, I think it can. Because the supply is so low, because the unique owners are so devoted and so entrenched within this collection, and also Trevor, the founder and creator of this collection, is completely an OG. He's been here since the beginning of not just ordinals, but Bitcoin and runes, a great educator in the space, and they have a lot of alpha groups on their Discord channel. I definitely think this is something you should look out for the greatest deals, because it's actually one of the most affordable out of this entire list that I'm sharing with you right now. Each one's roughly around 6,000 to 7,000 US dollars. So keep that in mind. This could definitely hit 1 Bitcoin in the near future, I hope. Now, next up I want to talk about is Node Monkeys, a collection that claims to be the very first 10K collection within Bitcoin ordinals. Now, this is the first 10K collection within Bitcoin ordinals that's original artwork, in my personal opinion. The original 10K collection that was first inscribed on Bitcoin, I believe, is Bitcoin Punks. But unfortunately, Bitcoin Punks is a derivative based off of CryptoPunks on Ethereum. So this Node Monkeys could take the mantle for that. But notice something around the total supply. It's 10K, but with the unique owners, it's almost half that. So half of these owners own one or more of these Node Monkeys. So that's something that I'm really paying attention to. But nonetheless, this has roughly around $14,000 floor price for just the cheapest Node Monkey, but has one of the higher transaction volumes within most of the ordinal collections. So this, to me, can it hit 1 Bitcoin? Yes, I definitely think it hit 1 Bitcoin because it even got close to it right around here, around 0.89 Bitcoin. So if it can get that far, I definitely think it can get up there again. We just have to be very patient with this specific collection. Everybody knows Node Monkeys. These specific PFPs definitely stand out if you were to change your Twitter profile to something like this. So Node Monkeys isn't going anywhere. This could definitely hit 1 Bitcoin. Now, something that's came out of the woodworks is Quantum Cats, and this is the last collection I'm going to cover. Now, this is created by Udi, one of the creators of Taproot Wizards. Now, this has actually been kind of surprising. Now, this floor price is around 0.32 Bitcoin, which is roughly 20,000 US dollars. The total supply of these ordinals is around 3.3 thousand. Unique owner ratio is actually quite great. It's 2.49 thousand. Now let's go ahead and look into the charting. Now if we look at the all-time high charts, you can see that right now the highest I ever got was closely around 0.47 Bitcoin, so almost got to around half a Bitcoin. Now, can this reach a Bitcoin? I definitely think so, because to me, I think the artwork's actually quite great. I love the artwork, it's very cute, it has all the different traits that really captivate people's eyes. Whenever I see people representing this specific PFP, it stands out for sure. And it's hard for me to kind of ignore somebody when they have a PFP like this and they comment on either my post or somebody else's post. But to me, I definitely think Quantum Cats, because Quantum Cats is actually a really cool name, I definitely think that this can hit 1 Bitcoin and even higher. So this is all my personal opinions. So we'll see. I'm personally hunting for my next PFP to be a Bitcoin ordinal, but I don't exactly know what it's going to be. But a lot of you have shared your different opinions with me, and for me, I'm really grateful for that. And I hope that this video has been very educational and informative for you to kind of get an understanding of how early we are with Bitcoin ordinals and the potential of it going to the upside in one of these collections reaching 1 Bitcoin. So if you liked the video, like what you seen, like what you heard, please support the channel by smashing the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join our Patreon page for all of our alpha calls within Bitcoin ordinals. Until then, see you guys and girls next time.